Okay, welcome back. I hope at least you were able to get some refreshments. Just an announcement before we start. Um, so Professor Neonapoulos is running late. What we will do, we will get him to tape his lecture like we did last year when one of the speakers. So he will do his entire lecture, but none of you will be here, and it will be available online for you because he's just arrived in Joburg, so we're running a little late. So this morning, it is unfortunately with great sadness that we are now having a symposium in honor of Bijoy Kanderia. Um, that seat where this gentleman is sitting used to be filled for many years, and so for many of you who have not been here before, um, Bijoy Kanderia was a professor of cardiology at the University of Milwaukee in Wisconsin. And previous to that, he spent many years at the Mayo Clinic, where he was chief of cardiology at the Mayo Clinic. He was previously past president of the American Society of Echocardiography, and someone who many South Africans grew to love and know, and also over the years, this became a country that he loved. Yeah, it's not easy for me to say this, but I take a few moments to pay tribute to someone who was a huge mentor in not only in my career but in my life. And you can see many years ago, I even had hair then, so and this was the New Horizons many years ago, 2010 to be more precise, a year where it was amazing. We thought we were top of the world for many things in this country, and those days New Horizons was at Sandton Convention Center, and that was the first time Bijoy Kanderia came to this meeting. For me, the journey started actually many years before. Um, I was supposed to go to train at the Mayo Clinic. Rafiq Essops arranged for me to go at the end of 2005, and I had a panic attack, never went on the plane, never went to the Mayo Clinic at that point. But 3 years later, I was then sent to receive advanced training, and it was where I met Bijoy Kanderia in 2008 at Scottsdale. It was an amazing place. It was the place I met Farouk Mukadam. Um, Also the place I met Jeroen Bax. We were standing one Sunday morning, and I said to this guy, "Well, how come you got an Afrikaans accent?" You know. So it's funny enough, I met many of the people there, and so Bijoy Kanderia um, came, I think, all except for the COVID years, uh, every year to South Africa. And you know, you can only come so many years to game reserves and see Cape Town. And so, you know, he had a very special place for education in this country. And these are some of you will remember Daryl somewhere. This is the old New Horizons and Bijoy Kanderia, and that's what we were those days. And of course, last year, unfortunately, a year ago was where Bijoy was here. And after many setbacks in his life, he limped all the way here, took long flights, and came to share his expertise. For me, I was very privileged because I was able to. I wrote probably my first original paper with Bijoy Kanderia. You know, I remember him giving me an opportunity in New York, Mohammed, many years ago to come and present, and and mentorship and training that I received not only in America but virtually at times every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning helped me grow. As I grew, the unit at Baragwanath grew, and you can see there's some people, Rishi Kamil over here, Anupa Patel, Farouk Mamdou, and many others. As we grew into a big lab, many times when we were reaching 20,000 a year in echoes, it was Bijoy Kanderia who gave me insight and had to teach me how, from afar, how to run Africa's biggest echocardiography service. And so I'm eternally grateful to him. I'm, I'm also grateful for the fact that he was prepared to give of his time. I would conclude this brief presentation as we remember Bijoy. He was an outstanding clinician. I never forget how when at Milwaukee one day we did 12 TEs and he could diagnose people. He was a dedicated teacher and he went all over the world teaching. He was a very insightful researcher, and to many of us all over the world he was a mentor, and he was also a dedicated husband and father. And it is with great sadness that we realize that he's no longer with us. He will be always remembered and sorely missed. But I think that what he gave us, and you know, last year there was an honorary lecture in his name in India when he was in South Africa with us at the Indian Academy. So I'm very privileged to pay tribute to this person who's been a great mentor to me, and I think who contributed so much to echocardiography in South Africa. So to Bijoy, may what you taught us and what you advocated to treat patients and find practical, novel ways to solve problems, may it always continue through all the generations who benefit. This is my brief tribute to him. I'm going to ask Jeroen Bax, who's been a colleague of Bijoy Kanderia, to come up and to just say a few words before we start the session.
Yeah, it's my pleasure also to say a few words. Actually, few words are not enough. He was such a big individual. He was so big. He was overseeing the field. And I remember when I first came to Mayo Clinics to do lectures over there many years ago, that I met him, and he was not only publishing everything, but he was a very, very kind individual as well, that you do not see so often. People that are very famous in, let's say, certain places in the US, they don't speak to normal people that are just coming and starting to do something or so. But he was fantastic. He was somebody really caring for next generations, caring for his students, helping people to grow in the Echo Lab. I never met somebody who was such good in all the facts that you just put there, and I would say was just a great friend. Thank you.
So to kick off this session, we're going to have three important lectures